Ruto to deliver his acceptance speech. Why don't we give him a round of applause as he's coming to deliver his acceptance speech. Welcome, sir.
Your Excellency, my brother Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi and outgoing chair of the COMESA Authority. Your Excellencies, heads of state and government, distinguished ministers, Excellencies, members of the Bureau of COMESA Authority, Your Excellency Mohamed Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the Africa Union Commission, Her Excellency Jileshe Mbundu Kapwepwe, Secretary General of COMESA, Excellency Wamkele Mene, Secretary General of ACFTA, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is with profound gratitude, humility, and a deep sense of purpose that I stand before you today as the new chair of the COMESA market for Eastern and Southern Africa. I thank you for the trust you have placed in me and in the people of the Republic of Kenya to lead this great organization, one that remains a cornerstone of Africa's economic transformation and a model for continental integration under the Africa Union. Allow me to pay special tribute to my brother and friend, His Excellency President Evariste Ndayishimiye of the Republic of Burundi. Your Excellency, under your wise and steady leadership, COMESA has registered remarkable progress, and from all of us, we say thank you very much and congratulations, Mr. President. You have advanced our shared vision of integration and cooperation with diligence and dedication. For this, we owe you our collective appreciation and deep respect. Excellencies, I assume this responsibility under the inspiring theme, leveraging digitalization to deepen regional value chains for sustainable and inclusive growth. Indeed, it is my firm conviction that the future of our prosperity and our rightful place in the global economy will be defined by how effectively we harness the transformative power of digital technology. For far too long, Africa has been a passive recipient and consumer of technology. The time has come for us to become producers, innovators, and exporters of digital solutions, shaping our own economic destiny. In Kenya, the story of M-Pesa is a vivid example of the power of local innovation. A simple idea born from necessity and nurtured by ingenuity that revolutionized financial inclusion for millions. This is the spirit of African innovation we must now ignite and scale across our region. We must move decisively to digitalize every aspect of trade facilitation by investing jointly in physical and digital infrastructure, modern transport corridors, regional data centers, and secure cloud services. This digital superhighway, Excellencies, must not end in our capitals. It must reach every village, connect every farmer, empower every entrepreneur, and link our landlocked nations to the arteries of global trade. Equally, we must harmonize our digital policies and regulatory frameworks. Fragmentation is itself a non-tariff barrier. A single digital market for COMESA will require common standards for e-commerce, digital payments, data protection, and cybersecurity. Let us therefore accelerate the adoption of electronic certificates of origin, integrated single window systems, and interoperable cross-border payment platforms to make our region the most efficient place for trade on our continent. Excellencies, At this time, we must now leap into the fourth industrial revolution, Industry 4.0, by integrating automation, artificial intelligence, and advanced manufacturing. This is how we will transform our rich mineral and agricultural resources into high-value finished products within COMESA, creating quality jobs, boosting economies, and expanding our incomes. Digital solutions in logistics, including real-time cargo tracking, smart port management, and AI-driven supply chain systems will reduce transit times, cut costs, and enhance transparency in our trade networks, making COMESA the most efficient and attractive trading region in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, the attainment of our development objectives hinges on access to equitable, affordable, and sustainable financing mechanisms that promote inclusive growth and long-term transformation, not cycles of debt and dependency. As I noted in my recent address to the United Nations, the global financial system remains trapped in the architecture of a bygone era. Institutions such as IMF and World Bank, conceived in the aftermath of the Second World War 80 years ago, continue to be dominated by wealthy nations, resulting in persistent inequities and limited voice for developing countries and poor nations. In response, one of the most viable pathways for Africa and for regional economic blocs like COMESA is to strengthen our homegrown multilateral financial institutions such as Trade Development Bank, Afrexim Bank, Africa Finance Corporation, Shelter Afrique, Africa Re, and the Africa Trade and Investment Development Insurance, and ZEP-RE. These institutions, ladies and gentlemen, embody our collective determination to mobilize African capital for African priorities. We may recall that Trade and Development Bank, for example, was established under the preferential trade area, the precursor of COMESA, and has since evolved into the financial arm of our common market, driving regional trade, investment, and sustainable development. That is why here in Kenya, we are backing our words with action. Having already committed US $50 million as share capital to Afrexim Bank, we have just additionally invested $100 million to enhance our shareholding in Trade and Development Bank. And my good friend Tadesse, the CEO, is at the corner there. These African-led banks are proving to be true partners in progress. Through our participation, Kenya can now access long-term facilities of up to 25 years at reasonable concessional interest rates, tangible proof that investing in our own institutions yields real and sustainable value. By strengthening and capitalizing these entities, we are deepening regional financial integration and ensuring that Africa's development is financed on terms that reflect our realities, our priorities, and our aspirations. Excellencies, intra-COMESA trade, though improving, still accounts for a very small share of total trade. Africa, as we all know, and I was looking at the numbers this morning, only contributes 3% to global trade. And as we also know, intra-Africa trade, and I'm sure my brother Wamkele is here, is only 14% of all our trade. If you compare with Europe, 70% of their trade is intra-European. They trade 70% of their products within Europe. In Asia, they trade 60% of all their products and services within Asia. In Africa, we are only doing 14%. And that is why our contribution to global trade is only 3%, because we are not trading first and foremost with ourselves. And the reason why we are not trading with ourselves, and that is why the essence of COMESA, the reason why we are not trading with ourselves is because we have unlimited barriers. Just imagine that in the European Union, 26 countries, they have a single visa. Therefore, their people can move much more freely. In COMESA, with the, let's say, the tripartite agreement, we have 27 countries and 27 visas to be able to travel. Tell me, ladies and gentlemen, how we are going to catch up with the rest of the world if we are going to have this visa and that visa and the other visa to cross this border and the other border and the next border. So I want to commend my brother, President Ndayishimiye, this morning for announcing that Burundi is going to join countries in our continent that today are thinking about eliminating visa requirements for Africans to travel within our continent. Secondly, is the issue of trade barriers. We have signed beautiful agreements, but we are not translating those agreements into real movement of products and people on the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, we must move from competition amongst ourselves to cooperation and collaboration. From exporting raw materials to building value chains that retain wealth within our borders. At the same time, the question of continental integration must go beyond trade agreements and shared markets. It must also embrace the free movement of people, goods, and services across our borders. True integration will only be achieved when an African can travel, work, and invest freely anywhere within our continent. I will give you some numbers. When we decided as Kenya that we are going to open our borders to Africans and limit the requirements of visa, our visitors from Africa have doubled. Africa's strength lies in its openness and unity. We are optimistic that our sister countries across the continent will take similar bold steps, that together we may unlock the full potential of a borderless, connected, and prosperous Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, our growth must be inclusive, uplifting micro, small, and medium enterprises, empowering women and youth, and ensuring that every citizen becomes a stakeholder in our shared prosperity. Equally, sustainability must be central to our development model. We are stewards of a rich natural heritage, and we owe it to future generations to pursue growth that protects our environment. Excellencies, all these ambitions rest on unshakable foundations: peace, security, and stability. There can be no development without peace and no investment without stability. We must therefore strengthen our collective capacity to prevent conflict, manage disputes peacefully, and uphold democracy, good governance, and the rule of law. This must remain our highest and most sacred duty. The government and the people of Kenya are ready to play our part. In accepting the chairmanship of this great common market, I pledge to serve as a dedicated, energetic, and collaborative partner, working with each of you to advance the COMESA vision of a shared prosperity, integration, and transformation. Together, we can build a COMESA that is digital, that is dynamic, and deeply inclusive, a bloc that truly reflects the promise of a rising Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for choosing Kenya, coming to Kenya, and sharing this moment with us. And thank you very much for your audience. Asanteni sana.
Another warm clap for the chair, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto. And now we will progress to maiden statements. And to start us off, allow me to now invite His Excellency Azali Assoumani, President of the Union of Comoros, to make his statement. Let's give him a clap as he now approaches the stage. Welcome, sir.
Excellences,
Excellencies,
Majestés, Mesdames et Messieurs, mes chers frères, chefs d'État et de gouvernement,
heads of state and government,
chefs de délégation,
heads of delegations, Secretary General of COMESA, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
je voudrais d'emblée, au nom de la
I would like, on behalf of my delegation,
mon bien propre, exprimer le
and then my
sincère
own
remerciement
behalf, thank sincerely our brother,
le président
the
Ruto,
President Ruto,
que nous appelons
that we are
Amadabako,
calling Amadabako in Comoros,
ainsi qu'au gouvernement
as well as the
avec nos
government
frères
of Kenya,
pour l'accueil
for
fraternel
the welcome
qui nous est toujours réservé
that has been
dans ce
accorded to
magnifique
us
pays,
in this beautiful country,
pour les dispositions
and
prises
for everything they've done
pour rendre notre séjour
to
agréable
make our stay
garantir
beautiful
la réussite de ce
and guarantee the success of this
summit.
summit.
Ensuite,
I also salute the role
qu'il joue notre
played
frère
by
dans la
our
lutte
brother in the fight against climate change
et pour la promotion du
and
développement
for the
durable,
promotion
inclusif,
of inclusive and
Afrique,
sustainable development in Africa.
Nairobi,
Nairobi,
est non seulement
and
une capitale africaine,
Nairobi is not only an African
moderne et
capital,
dynamique,
modern
mais
and
aussi
dynamic capital, but also
un lieu symbolique
a symbolic
se construire
place where
des initiatives
the initiatives
qui
that are being put in place
de
that are going to
notre
create the
cher
future of our
Je saisis cette
dear
occasion
continent. So I take this
pour
opportunity
adresser mes sincères félicitations
to congratulate
À vous,
sincerely
mon cher frère.
to you, my dear brother,
au président Ruto
President Ruto,
qui assumera dès aujourd'hui
that from
la présidence
today
du COMESA
you're becoming the chair of COMESA, and I wish you
dans l'accomplissement
success
de cette noble mission.
in the pursuit of this noble mission in the service of our region.
J'adresse également
I also
mes
address
chaleureuses félicitations
my
au
congratulations
président
to
sortant
the outgoing president,
frère,
my dear brother Ndayishimiye,
pour le travail remarquable
for the
accompli
remarkable work that he has accomplished
tout au long de son mandat,
during his mandate, his
et
engagement,
son leadership
and his leadership
ont grandement contribué
that have
réellement
contributed to the consolidation of
organisation.
our organization.
Je salue également
I also
le travail
salute the
remarquable
work, remarkable work that has been accomplished
secrétaire
by
général
the
du COMESA,
COMESA Secretary General
engagement en
and
faveur
their commitment
de l'intégration
towards
régionale.
regional integration.
Mesdames et messieurs,
Ladies and gentlemen,
honorables assistants,
honorable
le
delegates,
thème de ce 24 sommet
the theme of this 24th summit that brings us together is on digitization, so that we can deepen regional value chains and so that we have sustainable development and inclusive development with a common will to make our region sustainable development and prosperity and stability. So the choice of this theme is very prudent, given that digitization is today the engine behind modern economies and transforming the way in which we're producing, we trade, teach, and heal. And it is a factor of inclusion, given that the access to digital tools is helping our youth, women and diaspora to be able to access markets and create value where the traditional structures did not provide these kind of opportunities. So we have good understanding that digital transformation is a very important means to our emergence, and we are reclaiming this in commerce. So with the arrival of the submarine cable, we have succeeded in Comoros to reduce the fragmentation, the digital fragmentation, and we're going to continue to work in this direction to improve and have the 4G network in the coming days. So we have as well developed solutions for mobile payments that are linked to banks and telecommunications operators, and this has improved financial inclusion, especially for those in the rural areas and for youth and women. We are experimenting as well with platforms for teaching, online teaching, and encourage the youth and startups to create solutions, local solutions, adapted to our reality and context. Ladies and gentlemen, beyond this modest experience of my country, Comoros, allow me to also give an example of some points, important points. And I think it's very, very necessary to connect our countries amongst themselves through reliable networks that are secure, so that we also reduce the cost of internet that is going to favor innovation and strengthen our sovereignty in as far as these digital platforms are concerned. And we should be able to promote local innovation as well as ensure that our continents have the possibility of allowing young people to invent solutions in fintech and digital health and artificial intelligence, among others, and align this digitization of strategic sectors, while ensuring that this digitization is supporting the transformation of value chains in agriculture, energy, and trade. And that is what is going to help us improve trade and materialize things that are happening at the customs and accelerate the AFCTL. So through health, we're going to reduce inequalities and provide different services to our dear population. Ladies and gentlemen, it is clear that stability of countries and digital transformation cannot succeed without this digital aspect. And I'd like to therefore express the support of my country to initiatives of COMESA in favor for peace and mediation and prevention of conflicts. I believe that we should be able to integrate cybersecurity as a very essential dimension for peace and sovereignty, because there is also what you may call cyber war, and we should be able to prepare collectively to deal with it when this comes up. And I also like to say that in this summit we should be able to adopt concrete recommendations that are going to accelerate regional integration, so that we can ensure that COMESA has becomes a model for integration in Africa. To conclude my speech, I call on our partners, especially the EU, to dialogue with COMESA and create a partnership, a win-win partnership, especially that takes into consideration the African priorities. And I call my brother African countries to be work in solidarity and defend the integrity and sovereignty of our countries. We can remind ourselves that your brother country, Comoros, has not been able to find its sovereignty because being an island, because the fourth island of Mayotte is still, unfortunately, administered and occupied by colonial powers, that is the French state. So, the integrity this aspect should be also considered by the African Union so that we can ensure that digitization becomes a tool of digital solidarity and shared development. I thank you very much once again for listening to me.
Another round of applause for him, kindly. Thank you very much, sir. Next, Your Excellency, I would now like to invite His Excellency Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, to make his statement. Let's give him a clap as he approaches the stage. Welcome, sir.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Chairperson of COMESA Authority. Your Excellency, Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, outgoing Chairperson and Rapporteur of the COMESA Authority. Your Excellencies, the Heads of State and Government, Your Excellency Mahmoud Ali Youssef, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, President of the African Development Bank, His Excellency Dr. Tar, the Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, His Excellency Ambassador Katete, the Secretary General of COMESA, Excellency Madam Kapwepe, the Secretary General of the Africa Continental Free Trade, His Excellency Wamkele Mene, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me at the outset to extend my profound gratitude to the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency, my dear brother William Ruto, as well as the government and people of Kenya, for the warm hospitality extended to me and my delegation since our arrival in the beautiful city of Nairobi. Your Excellency, we commend the excellent arrangements made for the hosting of this summit and the able manner in which you are steering our deliberations. By the same token, we congratulate His Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, the outgoing chairperson of the COMESA Authority, for his astute leadership over the past year in driving our regional integration agenda. This summit marks an important milestone in Zimbabwe's participation in the affairs of our regional community. Zimbabwe is committed to the ideals of regional integration, trade liberalization, and collective self-reliance that underpin this organization. COMESA continues to be a relevant and a vital platform for fostering multifaceted cooperation, the pooling of resources, harmonization of policies, and promotion of intra-regional regional trade and investment. Zimbabwe acknowledges the tangible benefits derived from COMESA membership. Our businesses continue to access a wider regional market, while thousands of small-scale traders, especially our women and youth, benefit from simplified trade regimes that easy cross-border commerce. COMESA's support has seen stronger value chains, accelerated industrialization, and improved infrastructure connectivity. To fully unlock COMESA's potential, non-tariff barriers, infrastructure gaps, and policy misalignments must be addressed. There is need to redouble our efforts as we implement more key initiatives such as the COMESA EAC SADC tripartite free trade area and African Continental Free Trade Area AFCFTA. Your Excellencies, Zimbabwe is on a journey of economic transformation and modernization. My government is implementing comprehensive reforms to improve the business environment in our country, enhance empowerment, productivity, and attract investment. Industrialization, digital transformation, and climate-resilient agriculture are among our top priority areas, all of which align with COMESA's medium-term strategic plan. We also reaffirm our commitment to peace, to security, and good governance, which are essential ingredients for sustainable development and regional integration. Zimbabwe stands ready to work with fellow member states in promoting stability and consolidating democratic institutions, as well as addressing transnational threats that undermine the collective peace, progress, and prosperity of our respective peoples. Your Excellencies, undoubtedly, our continent is at historic and defining crossroads. The aspirations of Agenda 2063, and I quote, "the Africa we want," end of quote, are achievable. We all have a duty to harness our collective strengths and leverage the opportunities before us to propel COMESA to new heights. Together, let us deliver on the promise of a better future for our people and our mother continent, Africa. I thank you.
And next, I will call upon His Excellency Dr. Abiy Ahmed, Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, to make his statement. Let's welcome him with a clap.
Your Excellency, Dr. Samuel William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Chairperson of COMESA. Your Excellency, Mr. Evaristi Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi and the outgoing Chairperson of COMESA, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, Your Excellency Mahmouda Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Your Excellency Chilise Kamaope, Secretary General of COMESA, ladies and gentlemen, it is a real pleasure to be here in Kenya. I thank the government and people of Kenya for their generous welcome, and the COMESA Chairperson and Secretary General for bringing us together at such an important time. We are at a defining moment. Technology is moving faster than ever, reshaping how nations grow, how societies connect, and how prosperity is shared. For Africa, now is not the time to wait and watch. We have the people, creativity, and natural wealth to build a prosperous and fair future. What we need is to connect our efforts and act with common purpose. That's why regional institutions like COMESA matter more than ever. They must turn collective will into progress, driving coordination, not duplication, and integration, not isolation. This year's focus on digital solutions for stronger, more inclusive regional economies could not be more relevant. Digital transformation offers a unique chance to rewrite Africa's economic story. It is about building digital public infrastructure that allows people to prove who they are, make payments securely, access service easily, and connect across borders. In Ethiopia, we are putting this vision into practice through Digital Ethiopia 2030, our national blueprint for inclusive digital transformation. We have digitalized hundreds of public services, making them accessible without barriers or bureaucracy. We have a digital ID program that serves more than 25 million people, laying the ground for trust and efficiency in both government and businesses. Our digital payment ecosystem processed billions of transactions last year. And through our AI Institute and National Coding Program, over 2.2 million young Ethiopians have been trained and certified to become the creator and innovators of tomorrow. From this experience, we have learned a simple truth. When Africa invests in talent and in digital foundations, it can compete globally on its own terms. Our next step must be to connect these national efforts regionally. Imagine a COMESA region where ID, payments, and data flows seamlessly, where trade is frictionless, trust is digital, and innovation knows no borders. That's what regional digital public infrastructure can unlock. We stand ready to work with our neighbors to make this vision real, turning digital potential into regional power and inclusion into shared prosperity. The future will reward those who build it. Let us begin here with clarity, courage, and connection. I thank you.
Next, allow me to call on Your Excellency Russell Dlamini, Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Eswatini. So welcome him with a clap.
Your Excellency Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi and Chairperson of the COMESA Authority. Your Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and incoming Chairperson. Madam Chileshe Kapwepwe, Secretary General of COMESA, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm deeply honored to address this august assembly on behalf of His Majesty King Mswati III, Her Majesty the Queen Mother, and the people of the Kingdom of Eswatini. Allow me at the outset to convey His Majesty's warm greetings and sincere appreciation to the government and the people of the Republic of Kenya for their generous hospitality and impeccable organization of this summit. Honorable Chairperson, permit me also to commend you
governments to be concerned by the question of peace and security of their neighbor.